And hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jovan and welcome to another video by yours truly. And in this edition we're going to talk about AEW Dynasty. The good, the bad, was it a good show, was it a great show? We're going to talk about it. If you want to let me know what you think, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment in below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this show. So without further ado, let's go and talk about AEW Dynasty. Talk about AEW Dynasty. Yeah, I mean, obviously I was going in kind of excited. It's sort of in a way because obviously I saw the card and I think it was like 7 to 8 matches, obviously 12 if you count pre-show matches. That, no offense, I don't watch the pre-shows. I watch, or the 0 hours, I watch the main show. Yeah, I was kind of curious about the show because obviously some of the matches that are on the card were freaking matches that I would really want to see. Obviously you had, was it Okada versus Pac? Kind of curious to see what Pac was doing, and obviously curious to see Okada, see him, because I haven't really seen him like wrestle in this new AEW environment, and I was kind of curious to see, if it's going to work, and obviously we'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, I think it's very excited to see Okada in AEW. But yeah, obviously you had that. You had obviously Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. You know it's going to be great. You had obviously Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. That we know is like a dream match, so definitely want to check that out. And obviously the kind of Samoa Joe versus Strickland kind of match to kind of see where that goes, because obviously there, as much as the story build is not really a thing in AEW at the moment, but my god, they can put on some great matches, and if you're into that kind of great matches, AEW is definitely one of the best wrestling shows out there to do that. But yeah, so I was kind of just going into it kind of excited in a way, but obviously kind of curious to kind of see, like, is it as bad as people say, or can they put on a good show even if the storylines and the kind of TV shows aren't exactly grabbing people's attention at the moment? Except for if you're doing the whole CM Punk thing, then we won't go into in this show, or we might talk about it a little bit when we've got the Young Bucks versus FTR match, the Atlanta match. Anyway, so obviously we had the pre-show matches, but we'll start off with talking about the first match that was on the main card. Kazuchika Okada defending his new Continental Championship going against Pac. I mean, this was a match that I was kind of excited to see, because obviously I'm a big fan of Okada, and obviously we all love Pac. So it was interesting to see what this match would be like. And to be fair, it was a great opener. It was a great opener. I loved it. All kinds of stuff. Obviously, it had I like stuff at the beginning with the kind of, we had when Pac done an amazing moonsault early on. It looked amazing. You had obviously, they got a bit later on when he was doing the famous, Okada was doing the famous pose. He's going to do the famous pose he's known for, then he put a middle finger. Got a little bit of a chuckle from that, because it's basically like, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Had great moves, it had great, kind of good psychology. I think Okada was working on the neck. I think that was the thing that Pac was out for a while, I assume. Yeah, both hitting tombstone power drivers. The match ended with, Pac trying to go for a red arrow, kind of Okada put his foot up, countered it, hits the Rainmaker for the win. And yeah, very good match. Gave it a good time. I think they gave it like 20 minutes. Yeah, they gave it about 21, maybe 22 minutes. And yeah, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I mean, it gives me options that when it comes to Okada, I cannot wait to see what they're going to do. Because obviously, I was skeptical when he joined this new elite. I think, I don't know if it's going to work, because I'm not quite sure if it will. Because obviously, the whole thing has always been about kind of friendship. But it could work. I think it could work. If it's just a situation of the Continental Championship is a champion, I can see it working. But I mean, one thing I want to point out this I forgot to say is obviously the Continental rules where there's no interference, and I kind of like that. I it's funny, strange, but I kind of am a type of guy that really likes kind of a title that has rules to it. I mean, some people don't like it for like just title's title, but I like it where it's got, like, example, the Pure Championship in the ROH. I'm a big fan of, where it's got all kinds of rules. I'm a big fan of that kind of wrestling type stuff. So I like this. Obviously, Okada came out good. Pac, I'm not quite sure what he can do next. Hopefully, now he's back, we can try and put a storyline that's actually interesting and kind of, really good. So yeah, so I'm up for that. So great opener here. Obviously, after that we had obviously the 6-man tag with Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe going against the House of Black. An interesting match here. Obviously coming off the opening match, it was good. It was a fun match, had some good spots. Mark Briscoe looked like a beast. There was a moment when embraced his inner Sabu by kind of like using a chair to kind of flip using a chair to bounce or catapult himself over the top rope into it. It looked amazing. By describing it, boy. But yeah, I mean, this match felt weird because it's basically like it felt like it could have been like a main event of a Collision or a Rampage or something like that. It's I mean, it's a good match to kind of go off, I guess, but like this is the kind of match that I thought it would have done Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black for that TBS championship, maybe, or TNT championship. I'm thinking about the women's here, my bad. But I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It was a good match. Obviously, had some cool moments. I think that big powerbomb suplex spot that was really cool. But obviously, at the end, Adam Copeland tried to go for a spear. Malachi Black used the mist. He hits his was it blackout, or was it that spinning roundhouse kick? His finisher. He gets the win, and probably again sets up a match that we're probably going to have at the next pay-per-view, or maybe a special on NXT, on AEW, I mean. So it could be good. I mean, but when it comes to the match, it's like it felt like they could have chopped this and gave time to other matches, maybe. That's just my opinion. But I mean, yeah. I mean, Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black could be a good match. I could like it, but Edge, or I keep saying Edge, Adam Copeland's kind of start is in AEW. It's been a bit weird. It's like he had the whole feud with Christian, and that was a pretty decent feud. And obviously he's now going against people like, Malachi Black. But I don't know, it just feels like he needs that proper big match that makes you go, oh, I would want to watch that. Because you've seen, Edge, or he used to be called, against Christian multiple times. Malachi Black's different, I guess. Interesting to see if the match is any good. So I'm intrigued, but I just feel he hasn't hit his potential just yet in AEW and Copeland. But obviously after that we had the, talk about TBS Championship match with Willow Nightingale going against Julia Hart in a kind of a short match. It was a very strange situation with this one, because obviously going in, you found out that basically Julia Hart she's been injured. I think it was her shoulder. You can see it when you watch the match; it was taped up. So it was kind of a situation of you knew that she's working her, and you can kind of see it in the match. Obviously, Willow Nightingale looked great in this match. Obviously, we all kind of knew that she was gonna, kind of hoped that she could win it, because obviously she's been on the, on the trajectory for a long time. Or she's been getting some big wins in the kind of I think it was in New Japan, obviously big wins in AEW. So her win the big title was obviously a good thing. But yes, obviously it's a good match, but again it's very short. I think it's like 7 minutes or something like that. We've got, there's not much we talk about in stuff like moveset, because obviously it's very short. I mean, very good like technical match. But obviously it came from another situation where Julia Hart tried to do a moonsault, where Willow Nightingale kind of got in, like put her foot up, hit her kind of finisher, wins the title. And I mean, it's just a good match. And but again, it could have got more if obviously Julia Hart wasn't injured. But it was a good match. I mean, I didn't like it. It was like it didn't overstay its welcome, and that's what I kind of like. You can't make it a great match. Make it kind of interesting enough that you can move on. But yes, obviously after that, we had Michelle Monet, obviously formerly known as Sasha Banks, coming out to interrupt, because obviously the whole thing was she's going to challenge the winner of this match, and that's going to set up a big match between Willow Nightingale and Michelle Monet, if I pronounced it correctly, at Double or Nothing. And I'm here for it, because I think what I've seen for Willow Nightingale, she's very good in the ring. But Michelle Monet is obviously, good in the ring as well. So it could produce a very good match. And we all forget that basically it wasn't when Willow Nightingale beat her. I think it's when she was Stardom champion. I might be wrong. And beat her. So there's a kind of right to win that title. So there's kind of like Will's got her number at the moment, Michelle Monet, and it's going to be an interesting match. I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do in AEW, because she's kind of just been doing a lot of talking, a lot of turning up, but not actually doing matches. So her first match is going to be in a month. I mean, should have had it shorter, but okay, fine. But I think I'm intrigued by this match enough to actually check it out. So it's usually a good sign in that kind of situation. But yes, that's a really cool and interesting, match. So can't wait to see that one. Obviously, after that we had obviously Roderick Strong going against Kyle O'Reilly for the International Championship. Yes. You go get confused because obviously you've got the Continental Championship, the International Championship. I keep saying they're basically the same thing, but you know, we're not going into that. But there's obviously this kind of match that we've seen 1,000 times. You should watch kind of NXT, Ring of Honor, probably GW, you know, all kinds of indie wrestling. At some point, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly have faced against each other, teamed with each other, or done some sort of variation of the three. But yes, obviously this was again good. Again, it's a good match. You're always going to get a good match in these two. I mean, you know, they know each other so well. But the problem is, obviously, it's like 17 minutes. It's another match that could have gone on for another couple of minutes. And but yeah, it was a great technical match. Good kind of back and forth. I like the thing kind of was it a backbreaker? Was it on Kyle O'Reilly from the top rope? Looked devastating. It was really cool. Obviously, Roderick Strong was kind of showing his kind of like master of the backbreaker. We've hit like 4 of them. Very good, you know, on that back. He was working on the back. Kyle O'Reilly was working on the knee. A lot of hard strikes, a lot of good kind of back and forth. That you expect nothing less. But yeah, but the kind of match ended with a very strange way where kind of Wardlow came out, where he kind of like stood on it, right? Stood there. The ref looked at him and said, "You can't come in." He's like, "Okay," and then just walked down. And then it was like it didn't distract anyone. And then obviously Roderick Strong hit his a big backbreaker finish, got the win. And but it's just I found it funny. It's just like, and they're going, well, we interfered. It's like he didn't do anything. He just kind of turned up. It'd be different if it was a situation where he turned up, the ref was distracted, and he threw him something, or he kind of, I don't know, distracted Kyle O'Reilly enough that Roderick Strong hit his finisher. Then it would have worked. But he just kind of turned up, standing around in the ring for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then Roderick Strong won clean anyway. So it's very strange. It's very strange. I don't get it. It's a very strange, like, kind of booking there. I mean, it's only a little tinkering here, obviously, but I saw that and I was laughing. It's funny. It's like Wardlow came and it's just like we didn't do anything. Just kind of was there and just stared at people. It's like not really a thing. Talking about people staring at people. Obviously, after this, there was a big celebration from the Undisputed Kingdom. But obviously, Adam Cole, because it was a Cambridge wheelchair, but he's able to stand. He can walk. It's a miracle. But it just means the recovery's going well. Obviously, it doesn't mean he'll be back in the ring anytime soon. I think when he comes back in the ring, that group's going to explode, because at the moment it's kind of just drifting without the leader. And obviously when MJF does come back, if he's coming back, we don't know. It's going to be that storyline's going to blow up. So at the moment they're kind of in limbo. I kind of like the kind of thing of the way that Adam Cole kind of looked at Wardlow when he's walking in, like kind of a man of disgust. So maybe when he comes back, they'll be laying down the law, maybe kicking out Wardlow of the group. That again, I don't know. I mean, Wardlow just should know by now that he shouldn't be under the whims of another guy, because obviously it doesn't get him anywhere. So it's interesting with that one. But yeah, I mean, honestly, when Adam Cole is free, and obviously if the MJF is coming back to AEW, that feud's going to be huge. And then it'll get really people back on the product, because that was really the reason why I was watching for a while. And then obviously when it went, it's kind of like there's nothing else to grab me. But good match here. But obviously, if you want to watch better, I would say just watch their earlier matches with one in NXT or Ring of Honor. The better matches out there. They've done better. It's a good match, but I've seen them do better. That's what I'm saying. But obviously after that we had Chris Jericho going against Hook with the FTW Championship online with FTW rules. This one was interesting because one, I've never known they've had rules. So unless it's been, so I'm guessing they've kind of took the title and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of took the title and basically made it into the hardcore title, where anything goes basically. So I want it because obviously of the person that brought that title is very extreme legend. So, but again, this is an interesting one because obviously Hook's been, again, he had that match against Samoa Joe, looked good. He's always been looking good, but obviously there's something that obviously doesn't grab me to push him to the next level. Jericho's doing that thing where he's kind of going against younger talent. At the moment, Jericho's not exactly liked in the wrestling community, purely for the fact that obviously some of the booking wise, he doesn't really elevate anyone anymore. He's not doing anything that's really appealing, and people are kind of not really loving his work at the moment. Obviously we know about the allegations. That's not helping either. I don't know much about. Don't get into. But I think that is a factor of why people are starting to turn on Chris Jericho. But for this match, it was fine. It was good. I mean, expect nothing. I wasn't expecting anything, groundbreaking here. Stuff with Hook showing embracing his father Taz with some cool suplexes. We had a cool thing on the outside where Hook hit a T-bone suplex on through a table was on the outside that was cool. You had a funny spot with Jericho had a trash can over his head, and Hook was kind of like a T-bone with him, in that trash can. It was funny. Obviously before that, he was hitting him with kendo sticks. It was just fun. We had obviously Hook going for a table after trying to get out of we had a choke, and that was really cool. But the match ended with Chris Jericho getting the win with a low blow. Obviously no rules, so you can get away with that. And then hit one Judas effect. Hook kicked out, hit another, and then he actually hit two. I'm afraid he hit two Judas effects, both kicked out. No one's really kicked out of it, so it's, kind of puts him over a little bit. And then it goes to get his bat, hits him literally directly on the head, gets the win, and obviously becomes the new FTW champion. Obviously after this, we obviously had Taz that couldn't, near the end, couldn't say anything, came off commentary and was looking at Jericho saying, "Get out." He's disgusted with what Jericho had to do to his son. So maybe not set up a match, but I see the idea that maybe Taz might be back in his son's corner. But again, I think he needs, because obviously he's decent in the ring. He's got some cool kind of ability in the ring. It's just his personality is not exactly anything that grabbed you. Obviously, he's kind of like the guy who doesn't say much. He does his work in the ring. I think if his father Taz was like his mouthpiece, I think he would get over better, and I think it could work. Because obviously I try to go without him, but I think it could work with his father Taz. And when it comes to Jericho, I don't know. I mean, obviously I was a big fan of Jericho for a while, and obviously I don't know what to think of Jericho at the moment. Maybe it's his time to leave. Maybe it's time to go back to WWE somewhere else. Because obviously he's done everything he can in AEW, but I don't know. Maybe there's other aspects, but I just think it's that time sometimes in the company might have to leave. But he's going to be the FTW champion. I don't see him holding that title for long. It's probably like 1 or 2 reigns, and then with defenses, and then he's going to next pay-per-view who's going to get it back, or somebody else is going to take it for him. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. But yeah, so again, good match, but nothing really special here to make you want to go, oh my god. But yes, obviously after that, we had the next match. Let's have a look. We had Timeless Toni Storm going against Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Championship. This one is interesting because obviously Toni Storm is absolutely killing it right now with her kind of timeless gimmick. It was just a fun kind of, it's funny, it's kind of very hyperly sexualized as well. I mean, we should point out it is basically, very like 1930s movie star. It's funny. Her promos are great. She's good in the ring. She's got sometimes in wrestling you just have to find that perfect gimmick, and this is, as you said, timeless gimmick, and I'm totally here for it. I kind of like the storyline here with kind of Thunder Rosa kind of had their makeup, because obviously the whole storyline going into this was with the situation of Toni Storm attacked her with the champagne with the kind of, and then wiped her face mask, because face mask kind of symbolism of culture and stuff like that. So it's a big deal. But yeah, obviously had that no face mask, so it means she means business. But again, it was a good match, very impactful, good spots. I like Toni Storm's working on Thunder Rosa's back. Obviously, good kind of back and forth. But obviously, in the end, obviously we had Peraza because was it turning up to help with Toni Storm, helping with Thunder Rosa. No, what was it? Yeah, kind of. She's helping Thunder Rosa. That's it. I don't think Thunder Rosa's gonna like. Kind of like in a way, because obviously, but we had a thing near the end with. But that was kind of the big thing about this match. So obviously, that's probably setting up that. Then Peraza is kind of going to go against Toni Storm. And again, that's a match we want to see. I think we've already seen it, but I think a rematch would be great on that. Or we're going to have. I've got a feeling that Thunder Rosa is going to turn heel at some point. The way that she was fighting in this match felt like she's going to turn heel. So I see it. But obviously, this match is kind of ended with Toni Storm hit the Storm Zero once, but Thunder Rosa kicked out. We had Toni Storm locking in the Texas Cloverleaf finisher submission, but obviously. She was able to kick out, but obviously this match ended in a very strange way. I mean, we got Toni Storm hitting a low blow. I say a low blow, obviously women it doesn't really work. I mean, because you know what I mean. But basically it's very strange. I think it's called a low kick. Let's go by that. So like a low click or distraction, and obviously hit another Storm Zero for the win. And Toni Storm is still your women's champion. Again, there was no doubt that she's going to defend the title. She's the best thing going in that women's division. There's no point taking a title off her anytime soon. I don't know who's going to take that from her. Probably Peraza, maybe Thunder Rosa, maybe Britt Baker, where the hell she is. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Britt Baker. I don't know anything that's going on there. I mean, don't go let me know. Like, what, is she like injured? Is she like not being utilised? Well, I don't know. But maybe she'll come back and maybe build her up. But Toni Storm's going to have that title for a long, long time. But now let's talk about the match that we're all going to come out of this pay-per-view, except for obviously the main event. And all talk about is the match that, it's going to be remembered. We're definitely going to talk about Bryan Danielson going against Will Ospreay in a one-on-one match. Dream match is definitely the description I would describe this. Two of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Who's the best? We've probably found out here that this is probably one of the best matches I have seen in a long time. And it's one of the matches that I remember. Reminds me why I love professional wrestling. You can love the stories, you can love the characters, but my God, when they can get two people that are just so good in the ring, with the chemistry these guys had, they can go. And this match was amazing. Technical masterclass. The pacing was great. I love the idea that I love the kind of back with like levers to their pace. When it's like 1 minute, it can slow down into like a hold, and before you know it, it's back and forth, counter after counter. Kind of pacing was great. You had obviously Bryan Danielson kind of was it working on the ribs of kind of Will Ospreay, because he's trying to slow him down. Obviously Bryan Danielson was trying to kind of get the advantages in that one. Cool spots here. We had a kind of a later one. We had a tiger suplex on the top rope, like Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. It looked bad because obviously when they you see Kenny Omega do those, like you kind of think, oh God. They won't do it because obviously there's no protection on your back, on your neck, but they did it and it looked like, luckily he landed on the back of his neck, but yeah, that could go wrong in so many ways, but it was a great spot nonetheless. But obviously we had an ox cutter from from Will Ospreay in the apron that looked freaking amazing. You had obviously later on we had great exchanges of pace and back and forth as you expect. I mean, there's a bit when it was Bryan Danielson hit this running knee, but the pace of it, my God, how did Will Ospreay kick out of that? I do not know. We had Will Ospreay hit a Styles Clash. We had a thing where was it Will Ospreay trying to hit, or was it Ox Cutter? But obviously Daniel Bryan hit a running knee in midair. Looked amazing. But the kind of match ended with Will Ospreay hitting the Tiger Driver. But the way he landed, Daniel Bryan's like kind of landed in the back of his neck. Obviously, I think it is like kind of a work, but like it looked nasty. But obviously, Will Ospreay didn't know that he was injured, so he hit that kind of that chop or thing in the back of the neck. When he finishes that, we know he does. Gets the pin, gets the win here. It ends an unbelievable match. They gave this half an hour. This gave 30 minutes. Yeah, 32 minutes. 32 minutes this match. And my God, it is really good. Match of the year candidate, definitely. Is there a better match out there that I can think of this year? I can't, top of my head. It is absolutely insane. All I'm hoping that this match that we get match 2, and that's going to happen All In, because I'm going to be All In. That means I can see Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay fight it out. The atmosphere of that place is going to be electric. I see it. I don't see them. Why would you not have two of the best wrestlers fighting out with the biggest crowd and the best crowd? I'm just saying. I think it needs to be done. But yes, obviously after that, obviously he was hurt. Will Ospreay is kind of like, kind of concerned because it's his hero. I like the idea of Don Callis that was on commentary during the match that's kind of criticising Will Ospreay's kind of conduct. So I'm assuming this is a kind of face turn for Will Ospreay. But again, I'm for, because how can you not like a guy like Will Ospreay? Great in the ring, likeable guy, sort of. And yeah, so I see them being kicked out of the Don Callis family at some point, but this was an amazing match. And me saying amazing is kind of downplaying it. It's absolutely outstanding. If you have a chance to watch anything from the show, watch this match. It is amazing. So obviously after that, who's going to top that? I don't think anyone was. But I got a feeling the crowd was kind of going down at this point. Because obviously our next match was the Young Bucks going to FTR for a ladder match for the vacant AEW World Tag Team Championships. Obviously it was vacated after Sting's retirement with Darby Allin at Revolution-ish, or I think around March. So obviously we need new champions. There was a tournament, and obviously FTR, the Young Bucks, were the final two. We all know what the going into this match was a bit like we're thinking about the CM Punk footage they released, so they're trying to use that as it's to build into the storyline. I've got to be honest, it didn't need it. It really didn't. And I don't know why they did it. And I don't think it got a cheap ratings boom and it got people talking about it, but not in a good way. But when it comes to this match, it was good. I've seen them do better. I think they're obviously out of the 4 matches. Was it? This is number 4 matches they've done. I think the first 2 were probably better. I mean, they're all similar, but they're not. I think the first 2 was just. I feel like there was more tension going on, and the third one I enjoyed. Obviously, I was there watching it, but obviously I've said I've done better. But the crowd was quiet as hell in this match. I don't know if it's exhaustion or because it's both the Young Bucks, no one cared. But they really tried everything in this match. The usual kind of great spots. We had Young Bucks throwing the ladder. Obviously into FTR early on. Obviously Dax was bleeding, so obviously when he started bleeding, he had high impact, moves. We had obviously this really cool kind of Cash doing like a moonsault off the bridge of the ladder. That we all forget there's a very. It's not the first time he's done kind of a high. He's a kind of like ground and pound kind of wrestler, but he can do some really cool high flying stuff. That was cool. We had Dax obviously we had a cool thing where Dax suplexed Nick off the ladder and then Cash done a splash off the ladder, off another ladder. That was a really cool spot. We had obviously a 450 splash. We had a 450 splash from Nick on Cash, and obviously Dax done a power driver from the bridge ladder that at one point looked really dangerous because he looked like he slipped. Another spot that really early on I should point out is probably the bit where Cash done a spear for the middle rope and kind of like I think it was Matt kind of like flew off the apron and went through a table. He could have hit his head. It looked a great spot, but I'm surprised he hasn't got a concussion from that one. But yes, obviously let's talk about the kind of end of the match because that's what's going to come out of this match. Maybe not the match, but how it ended. Obviously we had Dax was climbing up the ladder, probably was going to win the title, and then some masked man came out of the crowd, tried and pushed him off, and then who is it? And then guess who it was? The scapegoat himself, Jack Perry. So he kind of distracted them. Obviously, while this distraction, the Young Bucks climbed up, took the titles, and they are now 3-time at AEW World Tag Team Champion. And obviously Jack Perry got escorted out of the arena. No one wanted to see Jack Perry there. It's interesting though because it's like his heat is from basically getting his ass whooped by CM Punk. It's interesting because obviously the story going into this one is the idea that basically he did nothing wrong. In that case, he didn't, do anything. But it seems like he was very kind of like building up to that with the whole thing with the glass. It's like he built up the kind of situation that pissed off Punk, but he flipped. But let's not get into that. But it looks like he's probably going to join the New Elite. Would make sense to me. If you're going to play off the idea that basically you want to see someone beat the crap out of them, I can see the booking logic behind it, sort of. Because obviously now Jack Perry's he's hated, really hated. So you want him to get his ass whooped, I guess. But it's different kind of heat. It's backstage heat instead of actually what he's done in the ring heat. So I'm a bit skeptical. So I don't know. We'll find out. It's a good idea. Obviously, it's a good chance people will watch to see. But I see him join New Elite. They've obviously got all the gold, and then. I don't know where it's going because obviously it's not leading to CM Punk because he's not in the company anymore, so it's not that. So the heat is kind of pointless, but I don't think he can ever be a face again. Let's be honest, he's always got to be a heel now. But that's how everyone's going to remember it. It was an outstanding match in the sense of the spots they did and all that. It's better than nothing else, but again, it's just crowd were dead. There were a lot of times when it's just you can hear going ladders, all kinds of noises and everything. Just no one was into it. I don't know if it's because of this match, or because of the situation, or because of the knackered after this came off one of the best matches of the year. So the crowd was kind of exhausted. So, I would be after watching that, because I kind of was, to be fair. So maybe it was that, we don't know. But what makes me change my mind, in my being exhausted, is obviously for the main event. Samoa Joe, the AEW World Champion, going against Swerve Strickland. In a match that was kind of set up the idea, can Swerve Strickland win the big one and be the first African-American AEW World Champion in AEW history? Obviously it wasn't the storyline, it's just they've built up Swerve Strickland very well for a long time. Obviously had that big feud against Hangman Adam Page. It was really fun. Obviously Hangman, he's been now injured, but Swerve Strickland was going into this kind of really good build, so it's like it was built up quite nicely. But Samoa Joe being Samoa Joe was badass. But what I like about Samoa Joe, he wasn't messing around this match. He was pissed off, mate. It's like literally attacking. Was it Swerve Strickland early on? Obviously, I like the thing where was it Swerve went to the top, and obviously, what was it? Samoa Joe's that thing where he turns away, and then he kind of turns back, and and because normally it's like people like land, but Swerve Strickland knows better, and he kicked him in the face, and that pissed him off, and then he started exposing the floor with the mat, and obviously he was gonna hit a muscle buster I think on there, but obviously Swerve got out of the way, but Swerve was a man counter, and he flipped. He got a power bomb on Swerve Strickland, so obviously he's working on his back, and Samoa Joe for most of the match was having a laugh, was enjoying it, being in control, all that kind of stuff. But obviously Swerve got back into it, worked on that arm. It was kind of back and forth at this point. Obviously Samoa Joe hitting a muscle buster for a near fall. But obviously near the end of the match, obviously Samoa Joe brought in the title into the ring. But obviously it didn't work. Obviously we had Swerve Strickland hitting a double stomp, and Samoa Joe kicked out. Hits the house call, got kicked out. Swerve Strickland looks like it was like he's hitting his best, but it just wasn't enough. But yes, obviously had that, and obviously but he was able to get the win with a power bomb and another one with double stomp from the top, and he gets the win and wins his first AEW World Championship. And I'm loving the moment. I don't think it was as big as it should be, because obviously I think the crowd were exhausted, and I don't think it's because anything to do with them. But I mean, it's a great moment. It's a great moment. Like, the idea that he definitely deserves it, and I'm actually kind of intrigued to see how they're going to book him. Obviously, I'm kind of worried because obviously AEW is not booking. They're doing good stuff sometimes, but you don't trust them as much as you did like 1 or 2 years ago about booking the right way, basically. But he won the title. Samoa Joe was obviously, I don't know what's going to happen. It's probably going to be, it's wrestling. I don't know where he's going to go, but it's, he had a good run, but you don't need long title reigns because Samoa Joe is badass, and we all love Samoa Joe. I'm intrigued to see where this is going to go. I think he is over the crowd with whose house is it? Swerve's house. So he's over. So can't wait to see what they're going to do. It's a great moment and ends the show, in a great way. So yes, obviously that was that. A lot of interesting stuff happened in the show. So yes, let's go and put my final thoughts on this AEW Dynasty pay-per-view. So AEW Dynasty, the question is, was it a good show? I would say yes, it was. It obviously was an amazing show. I think yes, there were moments they could have cut. There were moments they could have said, okay, wasn't as bad as the other. But I mean, they had some really good matches, and it was kind of paced mildly, pretty decently. They put the time in the matches that mattered, and that the ones that people wanted to be involved in. It was just fine. I'm happy with it. What you got, I think, Cardiff vs Pac was a great match. If they can make that a feud, continuously, and this kind of quality we're going to get, I cannot wait to see that. Obviously, we had a good moment. Will Nightingale win the TBS Championship. I like that. I mean, Willow deserves it. To be fair. Obviously had what was it? Was it Sean McCullough? Well, it was a good match, I guess. I mean, I've seen better. I've seen better from them. So maybe it was a good match, but I've seen better from them. Obviously, but we're going to talk about two things, probably three things. We're going to come out of this pay-per-view, coming out talking about Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, best match of the year, probably at the moment. I would say yes. Young Bucks and FTR match. Obviously, Jack Perry, costing FTR, so that'd be interesting to see where that goes, and obviously Swerve Strickland becoming your new AEW World Champion. That's what's going to come out of this pay-per-view. It was good, but the funny thing is, like, AEW's a weird company at the moment. It's like they can put amazing shows like that, but then not do any storyline build for any of it. The build for this sucked. Let's be honest. The build for this sucked, but then the matches were outstanding. Most of the good, really good. So maybe it's because I can watch a pro wrestling show with very little story and still enjoy it. But if you make the stories really compelling, you can make it 10 times better. So hopefully this is kind of not, they don't see this and go, whoa, we've put on a good show, and think, well, we've got to put more interesting storylines going into it. That's the thing about AEW, it's like great wrestling, but no story. If they, like, at the moment, WWE has got like good, not like amazing matches, but most of the matches done by the story. So they've got great storytellers at the moment. AEW was that, they're not so much now. So hopefully in the future, but like wrestling's is like that's it's like circles, like goes round and round. 1 minute's up, 1 minute's down. I know that didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. It's basically like at the moment they were good, now they're not so good at the moment. But then with the talent they've got in there, and hopefully at some point they'll just click on something, they become good again. I have high faith, and hopefully people have faith in it too. So if I was going to, say this is good pay-per-view, I would say it's a very good pay-per-view. If anything, I would say they watch Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson and watch the main event. That's about it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just if you're going to check up, that's the things you really want to watch, because the main event was fun to see the moment, and obviously the Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson, absolutely amazing. So that's my thoughts on AEW Dynasty. Please, if you like what I say and you want to see more of me, make sure you don't miss. If you don't want to miss anything, please like and subscribe. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and put a comment below as well. Obviously, I'll be back with Backlash. Nothing's happening in a couple of weeks. When it comes to the main kind of wrestling reviews, obviously I'll be talking. I've got more plans to do more like kind of other reviews as well, so look out for that. So yeah. So what more can I say is I've been Stuart Irvine, and yeah, hope you enjoy my review, and I'll be back with another one very soon. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. See you later, everyone. Bye.